Hello and welcome. In this particular video, we'll start Biological Anthropology, Chapter 9, Paper 1, Section B of Physical Anthropology. As far as this video is concerned, we are starting human genetics. This will be a basic introductory lecture for the Chapter 9. As you must be aware that this chapter is very important as far as anthropology and particularly Paper 1 is concerned. After theories, if any chapter is important, then that is 9th chapter. So we'll start this lecture. Cell is the structural and functional unit of human body. This will be some of the basic biology that we will be talking here. Cell, there is a nucleus. There's nitrogen bases, that is A, U, G, C, and also T. Nitrogen base plus sugar, when they combine, they form nucleoside, and when phosphate is added to nitrogen base plus sugar, it becomes nucleotide. So this is basically an introduction. So yes, you should have this as your write-up, and then we'll move forward while talking about others. When there is a chain of nucleotide, it becomes nucleic acid. There are two types of nucleic acid. The first is DNA. The second is RNA. DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. And RNA is ribonucleic acid. You see, this is double stranded DNA and RNA is single stranded. We'll basically discuss on this topic as hardly any question would come from this particular section, but this is in our syllabus and we should have a basic understanding of the particular which are mentioned in the topic syllabus. So maximum condensed DNA will find it here, okay, in chromatid. And when after decoding this, we'll find chromatin, that is condensed DNA, which is double stranded, and the 2x chromatid is something that we call it as chromosome. This one and this one, we'll call it as, when together we call it as chromosome. You see, these two are homologous and these two are also homologous, but if we take them combined, we find that they are heterogeneous, or they are different. As far as human as a species is concerned, there is 23 pairs of chromosome. 23 pairs are divided, such as 22 pairs of autosome, which control the character to both the genders, and the 23rd pair is of sex chromosomes. As you must be aware, if there is any male, it will be 22 plus XY, and if there is female, that will be 22 plus XX. We'll basically have a definition on a topic called as gene. If anything which comes related to gene and your fodder is exhausted, then you should definitely put a definition. Gene is any functional sequence of nucleotide on DNA. So gene is any functional sequence of nucleotide on DNA. human gene is basically what we are going to discuss in this video. The next terminology that we are going to deal is alleles. Allele are the similar genes. Allele are the similar genes, for example AA or BB, that occupy the same locus on homologous chromosome. So alleles are the similar genes that occupies the same locus on homologous chromosomes. We have discussed based on homologous chromosome that what they are, and locus is a position occupied by gene on chromosome. So basically this locus is a place. See, position, locus is basically a position. Locus is basically a position occupied by genes on the chromosome. They code for alternative forms of the same character. For example, T, if this is T, so the T is for tall, the small t dwarf. They differ in single nucleotide. They differ in single nucleotide, that is ATGC, CC, TA, TG and ATGCC, TA, TC. So this become tall, this become dwarf. So they are formed due to mutation. So if certain situation is happening, this is basically due to mutation. Now, as the terminology comes, we'll write down the definition of mutation. Mutation is sudden, heritable change in the gene sequence that alters the gene function in mutation. So mutation is a sudden heritable change in the gene sequence that alters the gene function in mutation. So now we will basically start our discussion with some terminologies, that is dominant allele. Dominant allele are basically alleles that express both in homozygous and heterozygous condition. So if homozygous and heterozygous, if there is homozygous or heterozygous condition and the allele is able to express itself, it will be the dominant allele. There is recessive allele. The recessive allele can be expressed only in homozygous condition. In homozygous condition, not in heterozygous. So this was a little discussion on human genetics. As far as this topic is concerned, the relevance for asking in question is not as much, but the definition that we discussed, that is about dominant allele, recessive allele, mutation, gene, etc., this is important. In the next video we will start our basic discussion on the next topic, which will be okay. So we are ending here, and in next week, lecture we'll start the next topic. Thank you. Stay tuned.